Okay, so let's begin with the round two. We have CP, grep, tail, DNF, and CH own. So in the previous tutorial, I showed you CH mod, and now there is the CH own, which can actually alter the user and the user group which owns a particular file. So if I just recreate the test and if I do ll test, you can see that it's owned by Chronic and that it's owned by the user group Chronic as well. If I do ch own, what group shall I use? I don't know. Root. No, not root. Can't use root from here. Well, you know what? When you need to take a look at which users and which user groups you have on your PC, you can do so with the cat command. So with cat and then slash etc and then pass wd. And here you can see all the users listed. And I don't know, we have the user games, we have the user FTP. Why are these users here? Why do they exist? Well, you need the FTP user for the FTP server and for the permissions for the FTP server when it runs, or for the client, etc. You have the MySQL user for the SQL database as well. You have the QMO for the virtualization, etc. You have a ton load of them, so you can take a look at them here without any problems. Okay, so let's do cho own Apache test. Ownership of test, operation not permitted. I can't change it. Oh, okay. I'm gonna need higher level privileges for this, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do this as root. So let's go ahead and change the directory to home, the user, and it should be here. Yep. Ch own Apache test. And if I do ll test, you can see that it has changed ownership from Chronic to Apache. RM test. We're not gonna need that. Goodbye. I have multiple terminals open from left and right and all my windows, so you can just use the sudo command for this. So if you just type in sudo and su, that will actually prompt you for a root. Or you can just type in sudo with your current user and then type in the command like ch own, and it will prompt you for a password before actually executing the command. So you will be able to do it that way. Now, next up is the cp command. So cp pretty much works like move. You cp test. I've just removed it. Test, and you can just do cp. If you wish to copy a folder, you'll need to use the recursive flag, and you can also type in v, which is pretty much generally used for verbose mode, which means it gives you a more information on the operation. So if I test to where shall we copy this? Oh, let's go to documents. And you can see that the test has indeed been copied to documents. One more thing. If you're trying to go from the current folder, from the current directory, so pwd, to the next one in line, you don't need a slash. You just type in cd. You can just type in like documents without a slash. But if you're going elsewhere, for example, if I was to go somewhere what is not listed here, I can type in bin. We need do slash bin. And by the way, in slash bin, all your executables are listed, all your binaries, so to say. Not executables, but binaries, which are executable as well. They need to be in order to execute them. Anyway, you can go ahead and see that test is indeed in documents. So to the right side, you will be able to find it along with a ton load of other files that I have here. Anyway, the next step is grep. So if you grep is basically for pulling out certain things. For example, if you use IP addr show, this will show the interfaces, the network interfaces, and their IP addresses. Which is, yeah, it's kind of, the information is kind of messy here, isn't it? Like, there's a lot of things, and it's kind of difficult to go over it, isn't it? So you have a loopback interface, and then you have the address for the loopback interface, and then you have your internet connection where it's going through which interface is being used for that. So you have 192.168.1.2 is for me, for you it might be something else. But suppose we just wanted to grab the INET addresses or the internet. Suppose we wanted to grab this line, actually. Let's put it like that. Suppose we wanted this line from each one of these interfaces. How would we do that? Well, we would need to state, okay, find a line which contains this keyword, because this keyword is common for all the interfaces. And you would do like this. You would use the pipe. This is a pipe symbol, and then type in grep. I usually like to use the argument -i for ignoring the cases of the letters, because Linux is extremely case sensitive. -i, and then I would type inet, and that would print every line which contains inet. So I would be able to find the internet address of whatever, of the LAN IP address of pretty much of whichever interface I wanted. So this command is actually going to be quite in handy later on. And finally, we come to the DNF. So you can use sudo DNF, or you just need to type in sudo su and become root. But I have a root terminal here. If I just do the clearing of the screen, DNF is used for searching, installing, and removing packages. So if I type in DNF search, for example, Wireshark, which will be the subject of our next lecture, or should be anyway, I can see all the packages for Wireshark. If I wanted to install it, I would need to type in DNF install Wireshark, and I would install it. Actually, with this command, I would install this one, because this one is taken by default. Unless you're in a 32-bit system, then this one would be taken as a default. But you can just copy paste the name from here of whatever it is that you wish to install, and install it in this manner. In order to remove it, all you need to do is type in remove, for example, Wireshark, just the name of the package, and this would actually remove it. All DNF installations, removals, and updates need to be done from root or from a user with admin privileges. So DNF update, if I just press enter here, this is going to perform an update. And you see I do have some updates pending, so I might as well just go ahead and issue a command to actually perform the updates. Well, this is gonna take a while, so I'm just gonna remove this terminal from the screen, and I will show you a next command. Next command is tail. Tail is extremely useful for monitoring logs, and you will need to know how to monitor logs, where they are stored, and what to do with them, because you want to know what is going on your system. So if I just type in cd var log, your system logs are contained here, pretty much all the logs. I have VBox logs. Wow. Must have been from a while back. I don't generally use it. Okay, so you have DNF logs. What else do we have that's kind of familiar? Well, cron jobs. Cron jobs are scheduled jobs that are set at boot time or at specific time intervals, etc. So you have for that. There's a log for the database, MariaDB. Messages, this is a general log file. So if I type in tail-f messages and press enter, this is going to say permission denied. Why has the permission been denied? Because a regular user does not have the proper permissions to actually read from these logs. So I'm just going to pull up the root terminal so I don't have to log in and log out every time. If I type in tail-f var log messages, this will give me a real-time update in regard to what is going on my system. So everything that's being logged into messages, it's going to be popping here. Systemctl, I actually can't do it like this, but doesn't really matter. You can go ahead and take a look at what is going on your system in live in the logs, because tail-f monitors the file live, so it will output any changes that occur. So that's about it in terms of basic Linux commands. There's another one which I want to show you, which I just started typing in, which is systemctl, which can be used to start a particular process in the background. So you can type in start, for example, httpd, which will start the web server if you have it installed. And anytime now, yep, there we go, it has started. And you can also type in systemctl status httpd, and this is how you basically check if it's running or not. It says active, active, running, loaded, loaded, and if it doesn't display a path here, it's a problem because it can't find it. Obviously, it won't be running then. To stop it, systemctl stop httpd. So these are just the basic examples of these commands. Of course, there are far more complex variants of them, which are used for specific purposes. But as I go through I just wanted to give you the basics so that you can orientate yourselves here. Nothing special. Later on, as we actually begin doing some serious things, as I said before, each command that I use there, each command that is new, I will explain it in detail so you will be able to figure things out without bigger problems. Okay, bid you farewell, and I'll see you in the follow-up tutorial, where we will go ahead, install Wireshark, and see how we can actually monitor incoming and outgoing traffic on a particular interface.